All right. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. We are back after a New Orleans vacation from me. That was a fun week. And what is this, episode 21, I believe? I don't know.
Wow.
I don't actually keep track, but we're getting there. We're up there in numbers. We're doing good.
I'm surprised that you returned from Louisiana.
Same. If we're going to be honest, Friday night at the time that we do this show, I was so far in the tank, I don't think I remembered my name. Just saying. Bourbon Street is a magical place. If you can go, go.
That's what I have heard.
Oh, I love Bourbon Street. It's so good. Oh, wow. I'm off my Facebook ban, which means I can actually share this to my personal page now.
Excellent.
For the first time in almost 3 months, I can share this.
Excellent.
This is going to be great.
As soon as you share it, you're going to get banned again.
All right. Do we need to like destroy my happiness here?
This is great. So many quarantine people are going to be watching this and loving it.
Absolutely. All right. So yeah, actually, that's where we're going to start tonight.
Are you quarantined?
Are you quarantined? Am I quarantined? Obviously not quarantined. Yeah.
We have no studio audience.
Maybe we should be a little bit further apart.
All right. This is how we're going to do the show tonight, guys. He's going to be all the way over there. I'm going to be
6 feet away.
6 arms length. So we're going to open up with talking, obviously, about the thing that's now changed all of the sports world.
Oops. Me breaking this microphone.
That does not change the sports world. That just changes our issues.
Okay. We're all set.
So the issue with, or what people don't really seem to understand on the internet is why this sports have decided to go this route and make this decision. It's not because of what has happened. It's about what can happen. Mm-hmm. You have a mass group of people and only takes one person to be infected to take out an entire stadium. So that's not a chance any of these owners, any of these players, any of these referees, they don't want to take that chance. So instead of continuing games, the realistic part of this is that Rudy Gobert destroyed everything in the nicest way possible. And if it wasn't Rudy Gobert, it was going to be somebody else. Eventually, somebody would have got corona and shut down every single league. It just happened to be Rudy Gobert. Gobert.
And I guess in a way we're lucky that it was a player that got it. Because if a fan had it and sat the way fans sit and had been going to game because there's no reason to cancel the season if Rudy Gobert never got it.
Correct.
Some fan has it and goes to games, then you're looking at a major spread. Now, the one thing we're lucky about was the contagion rate of this particular virus is for every one person who has it, they infect 2, where most of the other regular flu, all the other stuff is like a 14 contagion rate. One person can contaminate 14 other people. So that's why it's slow. And that gives us a chance, like you said, for NBA, NHL, all these sports leagues to get ahead of it, which is what it seems like the sports world is the only sector of the world that doesn't have their head up their ass when it comes to getting ahead of this.
I said it perfectly on Facebook, in my own personal Facebook. It's a sad day when the sports leadership is the leadership of our country. And that's not meant to be a political assassination of anything. However, it's what just happened. Our sports programs care more about our American people than our government does at this time. Let that sink in.
I mean, it took a long time for our powers that be to take it seriously. I know that we didn't know much about this, but all the experts were pointing to that this could get really bad really fast. And lucky for us, unlucky for Italy, we have an example of what not to do. So in order to get ahead of it, what they call flatten the curve. We've seen that. Schools, I mean, the town we live in canceled school for Monday, and they'll probably
I
cancel.
was gonna say the city, technically two cities, towns over, just
Yep.
canceled for all of next week.
Across the river, they're canceled. Nashua's canceled. Manchester's canceled.
That's what
Of
I was
course, we live
referring to
We're here
Nashua.
in New Hampshire. Hudson is canceled. My wife is in another town. She just texted me. She just got 2 weeks off to do remote learning, which will be interesting. And we'll get back to sports eventually. But because of this, and because of all, now the teachers have to come up with a plan of remote learning. How far are we away from remote learning? You know,
Yeah.
I mean, do you have to go to school for 180 days? Can you, I mean, statistics show that commuters, people who stay home and work, are more productive than when they go to their offices. So when does that translate into students? Of course, you worry about cheating and all that stuff, but I think this kind of thing forces us into the future quicker than we were going to get there. Again, the virus itself, I mean, I think there's like 2 trains of thought. 3. There's the people who went crazy.
All
There's
that
the
toilet
people
paper.
and then there's the people who still don't think it exists.
Yep.
And then there's normal people who it exists. I'm worried for my parents. I'm not going to freak out until it's time to freak out. Just take care of yourself. Get ahead of it. You know, limit contact, and let's ride this baby out for a month or so. Could take longer. But this is something we've never seen before, and as you said, it's scary that the sports industry is leading the way in what the right thing to do is.
Yeah. Yep. And it's true. You can't really change that. I mean, you have the government coming in now at this stage, shutting down events in most major cities of over 250 people. That seems to be the general number. Tampa Bay's done it. Seattle did it. Massachusetts just did it as an entire state.
San Francisco.
Yep, San Francisco. So all concerts, all sporting events, all hotel gatherings with, I don't know, strippers. I don't care. Think about whatever you want. It's not happening. Anything you have planned for the next month to month and a half, automatically take off the table. It's not going to happen. E3 was canceled. South by Southwest was canceled. Coachella was canceled. Well, okay, most of them were postponed. We'll start with that.
Yeah.
Coachella, all NBA, NHL, MLS, NASCAR. The only thing that hasn't postponed and or canceled to this date, there's 2 things. Yet. 2 things. One is the UFC, because that's safe. Great idea, guys.
But are they in this country?
Right now, their next event is tomorrow night in Brazil.
Ooh, that's not exactly
And
it's
after
not a spike zone, but it's not a
It's
clean
not a safe zone.
No.
But as soon as they leave Brazil, they're going to London.
Yeah, that's.
So,
I mean, somebody will take it out of their hands and say,
absolutely.
"You can have all the fights you want, not in my building.
Absolutely.
Go have it in the parking lot." I mean, and that's what's going to happen to the WWE, I think.
There it is. That's where I was going.
Yeah.
WWE has WrestleMania on April 5th. April 5th. Now, mind you, Trump's ban where you can't travel from the UK or to the UK is already in effect, and it's 30 days from when he did it, 2 days ago?
Yeah.
Therefore, nobody from Europe that paid for a ticket for WrestleMania can go to WrestleMania. That's about 25 to 30% on average of their audience that's live in the building at WrestleMania.
Where is WrestleMania?
Tampa Bay. So now, add on top of that Tampa Bay has already put into an effect, they cannot have any more than 250 people in any gathering at any time, they would have to now break their own rule because that went into effect as of March 10th, which would bring us to April 10th. Actually, I think it's April 9th to be exact, for 30 days. So, how the hell can they possibly do WrestleMania? They can't.
They're not
They
gonna
can't.
do it.
It's not going to happen.
And they could save face. I mean, I don't know why they haven't canceled it, other than
The exact inside sources have told me that the exact meeting was pretty much, if you cancel WrestleMania, talking to the city of Tampa Bay, on us, we will never come back. Tampa Bay bid for WrestleMania. They paid to have WrestleMania. However, the WWE is now trying to strong arm them into still having WrestleMania.
that's unfortunate.
There's already a contingency date in June. Push it back. God forbid you have to actually put effort into a storyline
Yeah.
for 2 extra months. You don't even put effort into a 1-month storyline.
I mean, this isn't rocket science here.
This is people's health.
WWE, so,
This is literally people's lives they're playing with.
I mean, they had to shut down the Yankees and I forget who else practice in Tampa Bay, spring training.
All of
And
spring training has been
they're all
canceled.
shut down, so
Yep.
it's not happening.
The baseball season won't start for at least 2 weeks late.
Yeah.
And that's at best case scenario.
Sorry,
the NHL is
Vince.
probably going to pick up right at the playoffs along with the NBA. And those are also best case scenarios. We don't know what this thing's going to do yet. We don't know how this is going to turn. This might not all be a best case scenario.
Nope.
So when the NHL comes back and when the NBA comes back, we don't know if maybe it's a best of 5 series instead of a best of 3 series. Or, sorry, best of 3 instead of best of 7.
Yeah, and it might not even be. You might not even have.
We might only get 4 teams in each division.
Exactly.
Like, something, if it comes back too late, something's going to change, but they're going to do something to crown a winner, one way or another, if they don't just full-on cancel the seasons.
I think in the NBA you can get away with.
Knocking out the bottom 4 in each, the Eastern Conference and the Western Conference. Knock out the bottom 4. They're useless anyway, and they're not going to win.
Yeah, and if you wanted that extra playoff, you could knock the bottom 3 and give the number 1 seed a bye. I think that would be more palatable. Hockey, same thing.
The thing with
Are there,
hockey is
like-
they're all, any team can win in the NHL. In the NBA, you know the top 4 are going to knock out and annihilate the bottom 4.
Right.
Not a chance. But in the NHL, the 8 seed, look at the Kings back when they first won the cup. I think, what was that, 2013? When that Jonathan Quick-led Kings team first won that cup, they were the 8 seed. Now, the playoff structure is a little bit different now, but the theory still, they were a wild card. What would be a wild card right now? So it's not like in the NHL you cannot win. You can.
But we know what kind of surface the ice is when the Bruins play deep in the playoffs. As soon as the weather starts turning,
It's not like anybody else is going to have an advantage. You're all playing on shit ice. End of story. Deal with it. Do you want the Stanley Cup or not? Deal with it. You don't have an advantage over another team, and the other team doesn't have an advantage over you. Go to Florida, go to Boston in August. They're going to have pretty much the same weather.
good thing I don't give 2 craps about the NHL. Good thing.
All right, so now we're just going to move into how this affects the NFL. Now, one thing, and we don't have confirmation, I didn't look into it. The franchise tag deadline has been pushed to tomorrow at noon. However, I don't know if that's related at all. I'm not going to say it is. I'm not going to say it's not. They just pushed it back from, what was it, the 10th originally?
Yeah.
From March 10th.
Now,
So that means-
tampering was supposed to start,
Tomorrow.
but they pushed that to Monday.
Monday. Sorry, Monday. No, it is Monday. It was always Monday. I thought today was Sunday for some reason.
All right.
So that has not changed yet. However, they are potentially waiting and pushing it back after the new CBA. The new CBA vote, I believe it's either tomorrow or Sunday. And the report that I read was that they were waiting on the new CBA so there wasn't any more potential blocks on the road for the CBA.
I'm going to look it up
Which part?
when the CBA is.
Okay.
Vote.
So if the CBA doesn't get voted on, the NFL might as well go into crisis mode at this point. God forbid they worry about people's health as well. But the CBA is going to get voted on this weekend. And by Sunday night, we're going to have an answer on if the beginning of free agency gets pushed back. And that is a very possible thing. However, I don't see a point to pushing back the beginning of free agency. I don't see a point to pushing back anything in the NFL offseason because everything except maybe physically going to scout a player, which by this time in the year, you should have plenty of homework on every single person you're thinking about drafting, mind you. However, there's no reason why anything in the NFL gets pushed back due to the sole reason that everything can be done remotely. So there's no reason to push it back. You don't have to have the new player hold up the jersey. That's not necessary at this time. You can do that a month from now. You don't have to fly him and his family in for picture time. You can wait. You can sign him, and you can do all the formalities later.
Saturday
It's Saturday?
at noon.
Okay.
So less than 24 hours from now, we will know if we have a new CBA or not, or which won't go into effect until 2021.
Correct.
But it still affects. Excuse me. Still affects.
It could still affect the playoffs this season.
It definitely going to affect contracts.
The NFL doesn't need to start pushing anything back until mandatory team workouts.
Right.
Once we get where we have to be in groups of people, and specifically we have to be in the same buildings, that's when the NFL needs to start pushing back if this hasn't been figured out yet. However, once again, the solution, or you were going to say something about the draft.
You were talking about potentially pushing stuff out, like
Yep.
the tampering period. And I was thinking that if that happens, they may push their whole timeline.
Yes.
The whole
Okay.
timeline's gonna
If
be
one thing does get pushed back, the entire timeline of the offseason will be pushed back.
Right. So, and they're already talking about those July little camp visits are going to be wiped out.
Okay, that's going too far. We don't know what's going to happen. I say don't make that decision on something in July until at least a month from now. It's too soon to make that call because we don't know what this virus is going to do.
July 15th is when they're permitted to OTAs.
Okay, yeah. So that call can wait until May 15th.
Right.
That's still a
But-
full 2 months.
They're better off pushing it out and canceling it later than
Yep.
canceling it now and trying to put it back in.
Las Vegas has the draft this year.
And their
So-
plan
Yes.
was, I don't know if you heard of this, their silly little plan about what they're going to do.
No fans.
No,
That was the original.
Before, they were going to, at the Bellagio, outside.
Oh, you're talking about how they had the stage.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah.
I mean, it sounded like it was going to be kind of cool. Sounded like it was going to take forever.
Yep.
They were going to put once the players selected, they were going to put them on a little boat, and he was going to go through the fountains without the fountains being on to the main stage, which is going to be tethered in the middle of the Bellagio's little man-made pond, which I think is, and then up to 400,000 people around watching.
Yep.
So that's not happening.
Absolutely not.
It hasn't been officially canceled yet, but I have a feeling that's not going to happen.
So here's what they should do. Now, we already know next year's draft is going to be in Cleveland. God, I'm sorry that for the NFL that's going to be in Cleveland, first of all. Second, all right, here's how you fix this draft problem without pushing anything back. Nobody, fan-wise, is allowed at the NFL draft. Done. Tell Las Vegas they can have the draft again in 2 years. and do everything remotely. It's
In 2
not hard.
years?
In 2 years, because Cleveland has next year.
No,
and
do it remotely in 2 years as
no,
well?
do it
All right.
remotely
Right
now.
Yep.
You don't even need Las Vegas at all. Do the draft remotely because you still need those kids. Do all the formal crap in the time it takes from draft to whenever camp, training camp, whatever, opens up, whenever you show up for the season. Because, again, it's mostly, hey, rookie paperwork. That's the only reason rookies actually go to do those press conferences, those introductory press conferences. They're getting an introductory to the NFL. So push all that back and send them that stuff. Send them that stuff through email.
Right. Or stay home. You can tell me you can't get 32 local affiliates to basically set up in player A's house. Just the first round, 32 players. Everybody that could go in the first round.
Yeah.
You just set up in their house. You know?
One, maybe two guys in their house.
And
Easy.
then that's it.
They have draft parties of like 30 guys.
They do it all the time. The guy gets selected. The coach gets on the phone. Everybody jumps up and down. You do a little interview. Oh, you do it on Skype. It's all over. It's not sexy. It's not how you're going to sell advertising the next year. But
It's what you got to do in a situation like this.
Exactly.
So do the draft remotely. Free agency remotely. Do your stupid introductory crap later. The NFL is the only sport that has the potential to get through this without missing anything. They can literally dominate the news cycle in the next 2 weeks. Because nothing else is going on.
I know you could have the draft with an abacus. You know what an abacus is, and it would still watch it. Hey, I figured out why they printed on only 2 pages. Double-sided. Hey.
Oh, good times.
So April 23rd, right now, is supposed to be round 1, 2, right? Or just round 1? Just round 1. So they haven't said it yet, but we're assuming that's going to get pushed out. They could still probably wait a week before they need to make that kind of decision.
They need to make the decision on free agency first.
Everything hinges on the CBA tomorrow. Then
we move on.
either we move on with the timeline or the decision to push the timeline is going to be made. So the never-ending saga with Tom Brady, or if you're a Cowboys fan, what's going to happen with your quarterback and your number 1 receiver, all that stuff could get pushed out, or we could start talking about that stuff next week.
Hopefully.
Which affects this show. What happens if they push it out? If they push the timeline out 2 weeks,
We can continue talking about it.
we can sit here and talk about the timeline.
I like
I'm not
the
gonna
way he
throw this
thinks.
paper away. This is
I
going to be
like the
vital.
way he thinks.
This is going to be vital information.
We can make our predictions on when the timeline will come back.
We can have squares. We'll sell squares for when the timeline is coming back. When's the draft going to be? Want to buy some squares? How about that March Madness?
Are we talking about real
No, it's
March
like
Madness? Or are we talking
things-
about the March
Let's talk about
illness
squares. Let's talk about what about wagering? Our poor future partners at DraftKings basically is like, I think the only thing you can bet on now is whether I get to my car without falling down. I think that's the only bet that's on the board right now.
The answer is no.
I think I can do it.
It's counting on so much revenue from this legalized betting, too. That's going to hurt the state coffers.
Yeah, that's going to be.
Ooh, awkward silence as I'm trying to share this to more pages.
No, I'm just like, with this, information is coming fast and furious in the sports league, but information is coming fast and furious in your personal lives. Every minute something comes in that has never happened before and is life-changing. So if we glance at our phones, it's
We
okay.
are in uncharted territory.
We are in uncharted territory indeed.
That is the absolute truth. We don't know what the next piece of news is going to be. between 3 Utah Jazz players testing positive.
Ooh, who's the third?
Donovan Mitchell.
He's the second.
No, there was I don't even know the guy's name. He was
Some
tested the
bench guy?
same. He was tested the same night
All right.
as Rudy Gobert.
Oh, there's a kid in Massachusetts that tested positive who got a autograph from Rudy Gobert when they were in town.
Yep.
So Rudy Gobert right now is what is it, patient zero
I mean, he's really not. There's
for the
still
NBA.
I was gonna say there's still another like 100,000 people over in China that have this disease.
For the NBA, he is patient zero.
He is a propagation overachiever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, let's not even get into the jackassery he was doing beforehand.
To be fair, in his defense, he didn't know he had the disease at the time.
Yeah,
To,
but
in
to
bad
be that
taste.
big of a
Don't get me
jackass.
wrong, it was in bad taste.
right.
But it's not like he knew.
Of course not. I mean, not.
And
no
it's
one-
just the biggest piece of amazing irony in the world.
yes. And he apologized, and that's all you can. I mean, what can he do besides apologize?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. No, I agree.
He must feel awful. I mean,
Absolutely.
somebody is going to die. If he's patient zero, someone's going to die.
So those 3 players tested positive,
Right.
causing that game to be canceled. Well, Donovan Mitchell was the next day. And then one of the referees from Monday's Utah and Toronto game was also the referee for the night the NBA canceled game against the Pelicans and Sacramento Kings, causing that game to be canceled as well. And then the NBA went on hiatus.
Smart.
I mean, they didn't have a choice.
Nope. They had a few cases, and every day there was a new one. So
It's almost like every business in America right now, actually. The minute one person gets it in your company, there's a good chance your company's just going to shut down.
right. If you can telecommute, they want you to telecommute. I
Yeah.
can't. In my business, I will never not have to go to work.
Same.
The worse it gets, the more chance I have to be at work longer and be exposed more often because I'm in the media. And
Literally same,
we
except
will
I
not be
deliver
shutting
packages.
down. Huh?
Literally same, except I deliver packages.
He's going to have to wear the suit.
A hazmat suit to deliver you your damn Chewy.
Here's your pet meds.
So yeah, if you see a guy in a hazmat suit with a box of Chewy on his shoulder, it's probably your FedEx guy.
Sign here for your cola guard. Where's Russ? You like that one?
He's hiding. He's just hiding behind the wall.
Who's gonna take my cola guard? I need to know.
All right, moving into the potential of free agency on Monday at noon. Mark your calendars. The number 1 free agent in the NFL, and anybody that does not say this name is lying to themselves, is Dak Prescott.
Indeed.
I don't care what you think about Drew Brees. Plot twist, he's already re-signed. Numbers haven't been announced, but he ain't playing for anybody else. I don't care what you think about Tom Brady, Jadeveon Clowney, Chris Jones, who I believe re-signed. I do.
Who was that guy that said Drew Brees is retiring? Just very adamant about it. Who was that guy?
So you see that name on our board right there? It looks like Jake Jollymore.
Oh,
Yeah. That guy said it. Not I. He was super adamant that Drew Brees was retiring. However, he was wrong.
but he did say if he doesn't, he's going back.
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
So that's what
I'm
happened.
also adamant that Phillip Rivers is retiring, but I guess he would have done that by now too.
Yeah. Do you think? Well, I guess maybe we'll get to him. He's actually off the top 15, but
It's because he's not good.
right. That's what I was getting at. What does he think he's going to get? I mean, he's not going to play. He's not going to. There's no. Did he even move his team, his family to LA, or they stayed in San Diego?
Phillip Rivers? They moved
Yeah.
to Florida.
Oh, the whole team moved to Florida. Oh,
Family.
really?
Right after.
It must have a filter. Anywho, so I didn't realize that. So Does that? I mean, Tampa Bay is in the hunt for Tom Brady. Whatever.
Actually, I was going to get into that when we started talking about Tom Brady because there's developments today about him. However, we'll get into it now. Tom Brady is not the most sought-after quarterback on the quarterback market.
No.
Name a team that's connected to Tom Brady. I'll tell you what I know.
We will. I was surprised. We'll start with the one that I was surprised about today. The one that you heard a lot about. The coach was even being a little coy about it. Was Tennessee.
Yep.
And Adam Schefter had some news today. And
Tennessee's number one option is Ryan Tannehill. They are not in on Tom Brady. Next.
That's what they're saying.
That's what they're saying. What they may do is completely different.
Right. That's what
they're saying, though, is that Ryan Tannehill is the preferred option because they want to stay with what they know.
And he's, according to NFL's top 101 free agents, updated today. He is number 5.
Tannehill?
Yep.
Really?
Yep.
He's not that good.
I know, but he's going to make himself some money somewhere. Prescott, Cooper, Clowney,
Shaquille Barrett.
Shaquille Barrett, and then Ryan Tannehill.
So Tampa Bay is apparently also pursuing Teddy Bridgewater over Tom Brady, which is and I quote, been the plan the entire time. All right, that takes 2 teams out. Next.
Teams that are
That we're supposedly in on Tom
right.
Brady.
Well, let's do the Raiders.
Raiders. Apparently, they want to keep Derek Carr or go after Phillip Rivers.
Ooh,
Next.
that's silly. We'll keep the crappy quarterback we have,
Yeah.
or we'll get somebody as old as Tom Brady
Who
hasn't won anything.
Tom Brady has 7 years on Phillip Rivers.
Really, 7 years?
Phillip Rivers is like 35, 36.
He plays like he's 45.
Yes, he
46.
does.
All right, where else was he going to go?
The only two logical options.
The big one this week, and we do this show out of New Hampshire, New England, was the very tasty tidbit of the chance that he could go to San Francisco, whereas a certain Jimmy G would end up back with the Patriots.
The amount of likelihood of that happening is almost the same amount of likelihood as me falling from a plane right now.
Right now, we're not in a plane. I don't
Yeah,
want to hedge the bets here.
We're absolutely not in a plane.
I don't want to ruin the bet.
We're
not
sitting in a
plane.
studio in a building, not in a plane.
So the reason why that took hold was apparently when right before the trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, Lynch was talking to Belichick and asking about Garoppolo, and he's no, we're not trading him. And then Lynch asked about Tom Brady. Well, would you trade me Tom Brady? And they're like, "Are you insane?" And it
Do you
didn't
mean
get.
Elway? I feel like this story is an Elway story.
No, this is Lynch to San Francisco.
This sounds like the exact same story I heard from Elway.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah.
Well,
Except it ends with nobody getting traded to the Denver Broncos.
right, which is why I heard it was. That's why this had a hold. Is because it sounded like this was in the works at some point in John Lynch's head, at least 4 or 5 years ago. So, other than that, I don't see. Do they think they're one quarterback away from winning the championship? I don't think Garoppolo ruined the Super Bowl.
What?
I mean,
What?
the defense had something to do with it. But
Yeah, so did Jimmy not being able to put up any points in the second half. That
Yeah,
had
well,
more
I
to
mean-
do with it.
I know. Well, you were one-dimensional back until then. It's a little easy to, and he's not the kind of guy that can come back. You know, he's kind of
He's
a front
barely
runner.
the kind of guy that can play quarterback at this point.
So the other second part of it is somehow he gets traded back to New England, which
Somehow.
is even less likely
Yep.
than I'm falling out of a plane. Now, how about this? Less likely that I'm getting out of a plane and the seatbelt fits. That's never
Is that
going
a
to
common
happen.
problem in your life?
Don't tell the what is it? Don't tell TSA that I can't.
We're not far from the airport.
I can't put so, I mean, they think they can get a first or second rounder for Garoppolo at this point, and I don't know a team out there that would, at this point, would do that.
Okay, so for that exact scenario, first off, you need to find a team that needs a quarterback. Which right now,
Probably
Well-
half.
I wouldn't say half. I'd say like 21 out of 32 teams are solid at quarterback or comfortable at quarterback.
Right?
So like, I wouldn't say Cleveland's solid at quarterback, but they're comfortable.
They're not making a move, right?
Cincinnati, they're going to make a move at the draft. They're not going to trade for Jimmy. Seattle's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, let's Raiders.
They
Tampa Bay.
They think the Raiders. So, do they think they're fine, or do they don't think they're fine?
I don't think they're fine.
I don't think.
they think they're fine.
No, because
They're
they
just
keep,
playing it up.
they keep floating rumors. So
Yeah.
I don't think they think they're fine.
So Tampa Bay, Vegas, San Diego. I'd go on a limb here and I'd say Buffalo might be looking for an actual quarterback
Mm-hmm.
because Josh Allen's not a quarterback.
No, Miami,
Chicago, Miami,
Minnesota.
Minnesota's stuck on that contract for another year.
You're stuck there.
There is nothing they can do.
What a great contract.
Yeah.
If
Yeah.
your name is Craig Cousins.
Kirk Cousins got so lucky. Love to have that contract fully guaranteed.
Well, if I told you, if you woke up from a coma, you went in a coma in 2018, and then you woke up, and I told you, hey, there's a NFL player that finally got a guaranteed, 100% guaranteed contract. Guess who it is?
I would have woken up and said Rob Gronkowski.
Something like that. You would have said, Kirk Cousins.
Yep.
He likes the Canada Dry. The can.
I yell a lot, so I need to drink a lot. Like, I don't know if you guys can actually hear me,
That's what I heard.
but
Likes to
all I
drink.
do is yell over here.
So
I
we are.
typically walk out here with a straight voice, actually.
Right, so we're still on the Tom Brady thing. So
Yes.
ultimately, now,
Tom Brady has two real options.
okay,
Option number one is going to be Los
There.
Angeles.
the
And I don't mean this as in-
Vegas.
No, Los Angeles.
Okay,
The Chargers.
the Chargers.
And I don't mean this as this is going to be his preferred option as opposed to what's going to be. It's just option one and option two.
All right.
Option one is the Chargers. Option two is re-sign with the Patriots. Today, it was reported that the Patriots offered him under $20 million for one season, citing his 6 point whatever or his 13 point whatever cap hit as the reason as to why they have to pay him so low. And if that report is true, Tom Brady is leaving.
Now they offered him that in the last.
Last time they talked on the phone.
Oh, when with that conversation with Belichick.
That went sour. Yeah, that seems to be the reason it went
Belichick,
sour.
like I said this since the end of the Super Bowl, Belichick doesn't want him back. He doesn't.
It seems a lot like RKK was in on that too.
What
Which
I heard.
changes everything in the entire dynamic. If RKK is on Bill Belichick's side, RKK is Robert Kraft, by the way.
That's what we heard. That Tom spoke to the Crafts and he said, "Tommy, Bill's in charge."
Yep. So if
when
it is
that
RK,
happens,
if Brady lost RKK, he's gone.
he's not coming.
End
back.
of story. If Belichick has full control, Brady will be gone. So Belichick wanting Brady gone and offering him what I think it was $15 million for the 1 year absolutely makes sense. However, we just talked about it. Does he want to go to San Diego? Or sorry, Los Angeles? Does he want to? Because that's his real only option.
And we've said this before. I brought up the fact that does Tom want to go to an organization that is not run like the Patriots. So you want to walk in to practice, and when practice is over, everybody leaves. Because the Patriots, like half the team stays, and they practice more,
Yep.
and they run hills, and they go in the weight room, and they go to coaches' meetings. You know, not all of the NFL teams are run like the Patriots.
Cleveland,
And
we're
does he
looking at
want to
you
play
again.
for a team like that? Does he want to play for a team where maybe everybody's not pulling on the same rope, to quote Kevin Millar?
Does he want to play on the team that is historically, over the past 5 years, the most injured team in football? Their number one wide receiver hasn't played a full season in 3 years.
Well, I think he thinks he's taking Antonio Brown with him.
I don't think Antonio Brown's getting anything.
I don't think anybody's going to touch him because he's going to come with a six game minimum suspension.
Yep.
I mean, he's.
However, with Hunter Henry coming off the market, the only way I see the Patriots actually being able to get Brady back, they have to commit to signing Austin Hooper, and they have to commit to signing A.J. Green. Because they're not getting Amari Cooper. I'm sorry. That's not happening.
You think we'll get to him? You think he's going to be franchised?
No. I just don't think the Patriots will pay him. Dak Prescott's going to be the one franchised in Dallas.
San Francisco might want to try to pay Cooper.
San Francisco,
Sanders is gone.
yep. There's still potential he'll re-sign, but
So, we got to Brady a little quicker than we thought. So, the top free agents went Prescott, Cooper. Is there anything you want to add about that, except that he's going to be way expensive?
he's going to be super expensive. Whoever he's going to get overpaid, and he's not going to get franchise tag because Prescott's getting the franchise tag. They're not going to let Prescott walk into free agency because they're not getting him back if he does. Too many teams have too much money.
Then Clowney, then Shaq Barrett. You have Barrett ahead of
Clowney. Clowney comes with the injury concerns,
Mhm.
and Barrett is also younger.
Yeah, I'm surprised they have him ahead of him.
It's because of the name, honestly.
Yeah, but when you hear the name, you think
he
of
was the number one pick.
right, but don't you automatically think of
Injuries.
never living up to
Literally,
potential?
yeah, injuries. He
And
was
not
he
only
was-
injured, not
him
just injuries. Yeah,
fully healthy, and J.J. Watt should have led that team to a Super Bowl.
that sack he had was that in the championship game in college? That sack when he jumped over everybody and sacked the quarterback.
Yes.
That made his life. That
Yep.
one play made
That
his
one
life.
play made him the first overall pick.
They're like, look at this guy. He's gonna do that every game.
Now he's going to get overpaid to go to a crappy team. Hey, Cleveland, we're looking at you again.
Hey, maybe you get Jamie Collins back too, but he's on the list.
He'll probably
he's
resign
on a
in New
different
England.
list. Tannehill, 5th, as we discussed before.
Staying.
Why do you think NFL.com has him ranked higher than Derrick Henry?
The running back's a dying position.
Even though what he did in one game and what that one-hit wonder fraud in San Francisco did in one game, you still think that?
Derrick Henry is far more consistent than Raheem Mostert. However, if you look at it from a business point of view and a sport point of view, nobody I can ever talk to can sit there and tell me in any team, any situation ever that the running back is more important than the quarterback.
83 carries in the playoffs this year.
Yep.
That's a load.
Mm-hmm. How'd that work for the AFC Championship game, though?
But if he's carrying the ball that much, how good is his quarterback?
Or Mike Vrabel doesn't know how to use Ryan Tannehill to his full degree. Now, mind you,
Imagine a year ago you would have said that.
oh my God. A year ago, I would have probably shot myself
You
for
have
saying
to
that.
use Ryan Tannehill. You got to know how to use Ryan Tannehill.
The thing about the NFL is that every single team needs to play to their quarterback's strengths.
Yes.
That does not mean run the ball every play. In Tennessee's case, Ryan Tannehill is good at medium passes. He is. He always has been. Build a playbook around that. Don't send somebody deep as a distraction, but don't throw it to him.
I mean, he's a tough kid. He's got balls. He's not afraid. He's never been afraid to play the Patriots. He has a pretty good record against them. Teams like that don't scare him. He's one of those guys that can keep you in a game. Probably won't win it. Probably won't lose it. And
he's not going to win.
That's going to get him $20-something million.
I don't think he's going to get that much.
You don't think so?
Nope. In reality, he'll probably get 15 to 17.
That's a little bit better.
That's my realistic number for Ryan Tannehill.
Talk about a comeback player of the year.
Yeah. Yep.
Holy schmoles.
Who's next?
Byron Jones.
Oh, he's going to get so overpaid for nothing, and it's ridiculous. That's another Cowboy.
Cowboy cornerbacks, other than Deion Sanders, are way overrated.
Oh, Byron Jones is garbage. He is going to be the next Josh Norman. Oh, ugly.
At least Norman was good at one point.
At one point.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure Byron Jones only has 2 career interceptions. If I remember correctly, I'm going to look that up.
Look that up.
I will.
We'll go through these. Arik Armstead.
2 career interceptions.
Yes, he got it.
2. You're telling me you're going to pay Byron Jones the #1 quarterback money ever for 2 career interceptions and 79 career tackles?
Well, that means they don't throw to him. That's what they would say. That's what.
They're wrong.
That's what his. I bet Amari Cooper lights him up in practice.
Oh my. Byron Jones is the biggest load of garbage on this free agent market. He has no business getting paid more than somebody like Stephon Gilmore, even Richard Sherman, who got burned in the Super Bowl.
They should have traded him at the deadline. Maybe some idiot would have taken him.
Somebody would have. Somebody's going to pay him.
Second round
If
pick.
somebody's going to pay him, somebody would have traded for him. Now that I have that off my chest.
Arik Armstead.
Defensive end?
Yes.
He's going to re-sign with San Francisco.
Brandon Scherf, guard. Is he?
I don't even know
I can't tell what
Washington?
team he is. Maybe.
Kansas City? Maybe.
Scherf. What is his name? 8. Is that's not Arizona, is it?
No.
I never heard of him, but he must be really good. One of the best run blocking guards in football. Guards don't usually make the top 10 best free agent list. Tackles
Washington.
is another thing. Tackles, yeah, left tackle, right tackle. I could see them making a top 10 list if they're really, really good. I've never seen a guard.
Yeah.
Good run blocker. Okay, funsies. He's a good run blocker. Running isn't going to win you shit.
First things first, he's a good run blocker. Washington would say otherwise. They didn't do well in the run. Second, any top offensive lineman, I assume, is going to Cleveland.
There's another guard, Tooney.
Is Jack Conklin on there at all?
Nope.
Conklin should
Not in
be
the top 14.
You guys don't know how to rank free agents if Jack Conklin's not in the
So
top
Joe
15.
Tooney is one, another guard. That's
Joe
odd.
Tooney he's going to be another Patriots washout. That offensive line is only name one Patriots offensive lineman that left and was still good.
No, they don't.
No, Tooney's going to be another one. He's going to leave. He's going to be trash. I will take Jack Conklin over Joe Tooney.
He's young enough to change that trend, but the trend is there. The trend is there.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
And he was really good. He's second team All Pro. So I mean, that's not Pro Bowl. That's not the fake. That's not the fake Pro Bowl. That's All Pro. Okay, AJ Green hasn't played since 2004.
That's so accurate.
NFL.com has him as borderline Hall of Fame candidate. I would agree with that. Borderline part.
He's borderline doesn't belong anywhere in the conversation for the Hall of Fame.
Bengals are unlikely to let him get away. He wants to play with Joe Burrow.
This
don't think
entire
so.
this entire thing is giving me a brain aneurysm.
So AJ Green,
He's leaving.
I can't see them throwing money at. They need a complete reset. What are they gonna do? Well, let's keep AJ Green because maybe we can win 6 games if we have AJ Green.
Yeah, no.
Just let him go. Spend your money on protection for your new quarterback, guards, tackles, whatever. Derrick
Joe
Henry.
Tooney. Get Joe Tooney.
Get Joe Tooney. Derrick Henry.
We talked about him already.
Breeze.
Breeze is re-signing.
Corey Littleton.
Ooh, that's a Rams linebacker. That's a good one. If he
Why?
doesn't re-sign, he's probably going to sign with somebody like Pittsburgh.
Ooh. We talked about Brady, so that's the top 14-ish. They also had one of the riskiest free agents, and I just wanted to talk about a couple of them because the number one was Winston.
Which makes
Well,
sense.
let's leave him for last
Okay.
because I don't think we have much to talk about after him.
That's
So
fair.
let's go to the one that is kind of intriguing. Jamie Collins, drafted by the Patriots, played well.
Traded by the Patriots.
Kind of fell out of favor with Belichick. Traded to Cleveland, made a sick contract, $50 million in 4 years.
4 year, $50 million, 28 guaranteed.
And he was awful. They cut him. Patriots picked him up. Played good for about 9-10 games ish.
Fell off at the end of the season.
Fell off at the end of the season. Free agent. This is a typical one-year wonder Belichick find. Most people think he's walking. Will somebody going to pay him?
A lot of money, no. I
More than the Patriots will?
No. He's
Well,
gonna
the
re-sign
Patriots
with New
have
England.
the Patriots also have Van Noy and
Yeah, but if you can get Jamie Collins on a 2-year, 2.5 a year,
if he takes it.
he's not going to have a market.
All right.
Van Noy's gone. He's going to get paid.
Well, they're going to either pay him or
They're not paying him.
so they re-sign Collins and let Van Noy go. That's your prediction there.
Yep.
I have heard that before.
The riskiest, in my opinion, free agent is Melvin Gordon.
Really?
Yes. Because, like I said,
He's an old running back
yep,
with a lot of mileage. Risky.
a lot of mileage is debatable. Also, I'm pretty sure he's like 26.
No. So he's been in the league 4 years. That's the average lifespan for NFL running back.
Yep, 26. Right on the money. Only 1,059 attempts, 4,240 yards. It's not bad. That's pretty standard.
So not that risky.
No, still risky given his injury history.
How about Mr. I won't pay for my crabs, my crab legs. Jameis Winston.
Okay. Anybody that's watched this show knows that I think that Jameis Winston could be a superstar quarterback. Now notice, I am patiently and quietly not screaming about this one because I feel like I am 100% correct on this one. I don't need to yell about it to make my point.
Well, 5,100 yards,
Yep. Oh, yeah. He put up the yardage last year. He also threw the interceptions.
30 interceptions,
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
7 pick sixes.
I don't want to talk about that part. We can move on.
There are divisions in football that don't have 7 pick sixes. But
I'm not saying that.
I'm
don't
not
happen.
I'm not a Bruce Arians guy, ever. And I think he can be coached up, as you do.
You don't accidentally throw 5,100 yards.
Sorry. So I think that his next act could be his best. His next team could be his best. Could be one of those things where 8 years from now, you forgot he played for Tampa Bay. He'll be on the team,
Yep.
whatever, and you'll be like, wow, what a run he's had. He's been in the playoffs. He's done this. He's done that. He turned out to be pretty good. And you totally forget that he played for jackass Bruce Arians on Tampa Bay.
Jameis Winston to Chicago.
Chicago.
You got
The Bears.
you got Allen Robinson up there.
I need a Bears drop. I got to get that.
Yeah, yeah.
The Bears. Every time we say Chicago. The Bears. Have you
I
know-
think Allen Robinson they took the Super Bowl hero guy from Philadelphia at tight end. I can't remember his name right now.
Selleck?
The other guy.
The one with the wife plays soccer?
No,
I
that's
forget
Ertz. Maybe it wasn't Philly.
Oh, yeah. See, Ertz. Ertz is Philly.
Who is it? Chicago Bears tight end.
Mercedes Lewis? No.
Maybe I'm wrong.
This is
Maybe I'm
good
wrong.
stuff.
Maybe it wasn't them that took him. But they have nobody at tight end, so they need to get a tight end. Damn. And
Won't be Gronk. He's going to be WWE.
that's fair.
Won't be the Gronkster with his CBD rubs. All right, so before we end, let's just go quickly of what's going to happen this weekend if
Okay.
it doesn't get changed.
All right, let's
Tomorrow
do this.
at noon.
I was gonna say I feel like I'm going in and out. Check. Yeah.
You hear them? I'm hearing them, but
I'm going in and out on my headset here.
are you? Is it this one?
I don't know. Check.
Checky check.
Check.
Yeah,
Check.
I'm hearing them fine.
It could be a flaky headset.
Yeah. All right, we'll
Okay.
move on. I'll just keep going if you guys can hear me.
So tomorrow noon, the CBA gets voted on. It's a very distinct possibility. They may vote to table it again, another 48 hours, or even longer.
If they wait any longer, then free agency will happen on Monday. Guaranteed.
They'll say screw it and do it.
Because
Screw it and do it.
if it gets pushed back one more time,
It is cutting out.
oh, I'm not crazy.
I didn't say that, but I did
Oh,
notice
that's-
that cut out.
That's fair.
I'll fix that after the show.
All right, sounds good. We'll make it. We're almost done anyways. So.
Right.
So if it gets pushed back again, it's getting pushed back to the next off season. There it is again. It's cut out.
But it's left and right. I'm hearing them in one ear. I'm still hearing them.
Something weird.
Yeah.
I'd be the console.
As I say, I don't normally use both, so we'll I'll have both on real quick and we'll see what happens. Continue.
I'll get this fixed.
All right. So either way, tampering starts Monday.
Yep.
If they
Legal
push it out.
tampering.
Legal tampering starts Monday. Officially, this is the NFL.com. Clubs are permitted to contact and enter into contract negotiations with certified agents of players who will become unrestricted free agents upon the expiration of their 2019 player contracts, 4 p.m. New York time on March 18th.
To put that simple, what that really means is the league new year starts at that time.
Pretty much. On March 18th, busy day. New York, 4 o'clock, New York time, clubs must exercise their 2020 options on all players who have clauses for their under their last contracts.
Yep.
You have to decide whether you're going to keep them or not. They must submit qualifying offers to restricted free agents that have expiring contracts. They must submit minimum salary tenders to retain exclusive rights to the players with expiring contracts. And all clubs must under the 2020 salary cap prior to 4 p.m. on March 18th. That's that new?
Yes.
So it's not. Wasn't that in August? Did you have to be under the cap by August? Top 51 rule begins. All clubs must be under the 2020 salary cap prior to 4 p.m.
Yeah,
New York
that's usually after the preseason.
Wow.
But
So
that's,
you're going to
that's
draft
top
like
51. That is top 51 only.
that? Okay. All right. And then the contract expired at 4, and then the frenzy begins.
Yep.
So 4 o'clock Wednesday, the frenzy begins.
Officially. However, we all know we're going to hear
All that
all
stuff.
the deals starting Monday at noon.
Right.
Monday at 12:05, we're going to hear about the first big deal.
Right.
It's not going to take long.
Nope.
All right. Is that all you got?
That's all we got. Not too bad for no sports.
Yeah. I mean, we can always find something to talk about. Guys. Yeah, we chew clock. Guys, stay safe. Corona's not a joke. It's actually a big deal. Take care of yourselves. Make sure if you're told to quarantine, you quarantine. Don't go off infecting other people, guys. Other than that, I'm Jake. This is Rob. We are the Game Changer Sports Network. We love you all. Make sure you check us out next week. Make sure you check out Circus Monkey Sports on Sunday. Make sure you check out Talk Interference Sports on Tuesday. We'll see you next week, maybe.